O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231. In Plantation, 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, epic deals await you at Toyota of Hollywood. You don't have to battle to get discounts of up to $4,500. Your chariot awaits. A Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our arena where everyone is victorious at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
It's the
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. It is a beautiful Thursday because we've got some football tonight, finally. We've got the Dolphins on Sunday. Looking forward to it. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But, yes, it's a beautiful thing. It's awesome. Hope you all are feeling well. We've got the great Sean Stanley driving the program. We're going to talk to Stephen Holder in just a couple minutes here. He is the Colts and NFL beat guy for ESPN. He's been in Indy for I'm going to ask him now. It's 15 years or something. And so he's been there a long time, was here for a while. I think he was in the Herald with Michelle Kaufman, who will also join us today. And we'll talk about that Inter-Miami mess. So we'll preview Colts and Dolphins from the Colts point of view. We'll get his thoughts and what they're thinking over there. I saw some of the stuff from the Colts yesterday. I saw Xavier Howard's interview. Really didn't say much. He never really – he's a terrible interview. He's not a guy that really is a talker. He just kind of just gives you plain Jane answers. It's not like he's trying. It's his nature. He's just not really a talkative guy. He's not going to give you anything electrifying, so it was kind of a boring interview overall. He had respect and all that for Miami players and all that. It was nothing about any kind of disrespect or anything like that. I saw it. In fact, Stephen was asking a few of those questions in that scrum with Xavier Howard. So we'll talk to him about that. We've got some other Dolphin issues that we want to talk about going into the game against the Colts because kind of interesting. Tua also spoke yesterday. We've got there's one cut that I want to go over and make sure we dissect it the right way. Okay, that's what we want to do. Dissect it the right way to make sure people understand, kind of what's going on. So that is cool. What else do we have on the periphery? Obviously, we got some crypto stuff that I want to talk about. Music, which we always do, and there's actually some other local music news, national music news. RIP to Giorgio Armani, the fashion designer, passed away at the age of 91. So he got 91 in. That's pretty amazing. Today is Thursday, September 4th, 2025, day number 18,861 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. So we will be crossing the 19,000 mark this year. It's kind of crazy. 19,000. Will they win a Super Bowl before we get to 20,000 is the question. There's no shot that they're going to do it before 19. They could do it 19 plus, but do they do it before 20,000? Basically 3 years from now. Do we have that? Can we do it? So who knows? We shall see. But yeah, kind of brutal. Anyway, so all kinds of stuff. Remember to hit the like button, por favor. Get the algorithms going. As always, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo. That's Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Solana donation, and we always appreciate that. And you can send in your questions and comments and insults there too at the same time. And we always appreciate however it is you support our show. Visit our amazing sponsors like Murias Dental, which, by the way, I'm actually going to Murias Dental today. Going to go visit Eric there at Murias Dental. So, that's actually cool. And if your family, whether it's Dade or Broward County, Invisaligns, dental implants, preventive care, cosmetic surgery, reach out to our friends at Murias Dental, 305-821-0231. If you're in Dade and Broward, 954-692-6825. There you go. Lord knows I need as much help with my teeth. I inherited terrible teeth from my dad. Unfortunately, sometimes it's genetic. It's just one of those things. Floss and you brush, and you still have no freaking luck. What do we got here? Great job, ESPN. We now have wonderful commercials to look forward to on the Red Zone channel. Guess Hansen can take a piss now. What do you mean? Like they don't take commercial breaks on Red Zone? Is that what it is? Like I watch it, but I don't watch it religiously. So I usually watch games. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the Red Zone for a few minutes and then I leave. So I don't sit there hours watching the Red Zone. So I got to go from ignorance here on this. Do you do that? I mean, Sean, we work. Like you do pre and you do watch the game and you do post. You don't have time for that shit. This is my life for years, dude. Yes, please help.
I've never paid attention enough to know because I always have just a game on in the background as
right
doing the work. So I don't even know. I have watched it a couple times, but not enough to know if.
Yeah. See, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know about this. You went right over my head on this. If I know something, I'll tell you I know it. But if I don't know it, and I'll tell you. Gus says, yes, Red Zone has always been commercial-free for decades. Well, you know. Welcome to the world of corporate, bro. It's ESPN. Of course they're gonna shit on it, bro. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? They're gonna commercialize everything. It is what it is. It's terrible. You know, that's why we don't have commercial breaks. You know, we just they're during the show. You can see the billboards, and we'll talk about it, and we'll continue. But we're not gonna go into 8-minute commercial breaks and all that kind of stuff. We're not doing that. So, you know, but what are you going to do, dude? It is what it is. They've got a nice monopoly going and, you know, but I didn't know that. I had no idea that there were no commercial breaks at all. You would figure they would have soccer commercials, which is like what we do, you know, that it's going on during the show at the same time. That way you don't bother the listener with, you know, okay, we're off. Our commercial break is when we come on when we go on the air. So, you know, it gets out. It's people that hit the notification bell, they get notified. They have time. Even when you hit the notification bell, like, and you get notified right away, you know, okay, you know, hey, I got a buffer, you know, and that's usually where we have it at. You know, it's crazy. All right, let's do it, man. Let's talk a little Dolphins and Colts with the one and only Stephen Holder, who I've known for 20-plus years easily. You can follow him on Twitter at Holder Steven. Obviously, ESPN, NFL, and Colts reporter. How you doing, my brother?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Do I sound okay? I didn't.
Yeah, you sound great, dude. You sound great. Brother, right, is it 15 years now, Stephen? Is it at least 15 years there?
I've been here since 2013, so this is going to be my 13th season covering the Colts. Listen, you couldn't have bet me $1 million, or I wouldn't have taken $1 million bet that I would be living in the Midwest for 13 years after growing up in Miami Gardens. Could see the stadium damn near from my house, but you know, life comes at you fast. So here we are.
Yeah. No, I know, dude. I mean, wife, kids, you know, so everything like kind of developed for you. So it's like,
out. Yeah.
And for me, I thought the same thing. I thought it was just a stepping stone for you.
Yeah.
That, okay, I got the NFL beat, and then I'll take that next step. But the beauty of everything has been centralized because of the internet, because of everything. So now you do the same thing. You do the network stuff, you do the Colts stuff, and you do it all from Indianapolis anyway, because they just have everybody all over the country. So either way, you were able to stay and still branch out at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So
that's exactly right. So, you know, it worked out from a career perspective where it didn't make sense to leave, So yeah, you do what's practical, and what makes sense for you and the family.
We really know that you stayed there just because you want to go to St. Elmo's every month, but that's all right. We get it. We get it. That shrimp cocktail can get you. You probably haven't had that shrimp cocktail like in years, right? Because it's there.
I mean, right. I mean, look, I don't go there on a regular basis because I've been there a time or two. But listen, they have 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 you been to the 1933 lounge upstairs?
Yes.
Before? All right. So here's the cool thing.
During that week, you want to go up there because sometimes you run into people. So yes.
That's right. So they've built a couple of those lounges, satellite locations out in the suburbs. And they have the full menu and everything. Well, not the full menu, but just about. And so, like, you can go eat, you can have a drink. It's actually really cool. So I go there all the time now. Don't even do it downtown.
That's awesome. Actually, my favorite place there is Laria's, the Italian place.
Yeah, this is an underrated food city. So I'm going to tell the guys when they come up this weekend, I'm going to call them today and say, hey, let's talk about dinner, because I don't want you guys going to the same old steakhouse. There's actually some pretty good spots here that you don't know if you're just coming for a game or a convention. So we'll work on that.
Take a damn Uber, Lyft, whatever, out of the city. And you'll actually, because if you stay just in the walking distance, then you just kind of stay in the same places. That's you. Dude, I've been going I went to the Combine for 20 years. I don't know if I'm going to keep going anymore, but I went for 20 years. So I got to know, and Laria's, you have to take a cab.
That's right.
Out of the city for 5 or 6 minutes or whatever. But that's like a puro Italian place, buddy. I mean, that is, I mean, that place is the bomb, dude. Yeah. I love that place. So yeah,
there's a lot of good spots. So if you come back, call me first. I will.
We were there last year for the Colts game, and so this will lead me to this, bro. Okay, so I'm an idiot. I've been following this team forever, but I look at the Colts and I go, come on, dude, the Dolphins have to be able to beat the Colts. And they walk out with a loss against Anthony Richardson last year. And then here I am again, Steven. I'm going, well, wait a minute, bro. I mean, I'm looking at the Dolphin talent. I know they don't have a lot of depth, so I think they're going to have trouble this year, a lot more than most people think, because they have no secondary. They have no depth on the offensive line. They don't have depth in some other places that if they have any kind of injuries, it could be a real problem, okay? We still don't even know what receivers will step up if anything happens to the top two guys. You know what I'm saying? So all these kind of things are going to happen at one point or another because it is the NFL. But in week one, I'm looking at this matchup and I'm going, dude, the Dolphins, they have to win. Now, I respect the coach on the other side more than I respect the coach on the Dolphins side. Okay? So I don't know how it is. Indy's at home. Dolphins are on the road. How are the people in Indy looking at it? And how is Stephen Holder looking at it?
I think this is one of the tougher matchups to pick in week one. And you outlined a lot of it. But the Colts they have a more familiar roster maybe because they have kept it together for a long time. But the same problem exists now that has existed for the last 5 years. They have change at quarterback. And we don't know who Daniel Jones is in a Colts uniform. We know who he was in a Giants uniform. He was a player who the Giants, who are a bad football team, said, go away. Keep the money. Go away, right? Not a compliment. And so the Colts are banking. I have said this repeatedly this week. The Colts are not banking on Daniel Jones. They're banking on the 52 other guys. And he is just sort of the band director. He's the conductor. Okay. All right.
Facilitator. Yeah. Keep him as a facilitator.
That's what they're hoping for. Now, that's not Super Bowl caliber, that's not going to get you warmed up or excited for an AFC championship game in town or anything. But look, baby steps, I guess. So they are banking on Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren. Alec Pierce, Jonathan Taylor. completely healthy. When he's healthy, he has a big year, 1,400 plus last year. So they think they got enough to make it work, and that if he can just get him in the right play, right protection, et cetera, that's going to be enough. We'll see. It's a gamble. We will see. But that's the whole ball of wax, though. That for me, that's the whole ball of wax.
But dude, that's the only way you can approach it. It's the intelligent way. Hey, let's try to, keep it simple for him. And at the same time, I will say this about Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson looks like he's on the all-runway team, but unfortunately, that body cannot take any punishment whatsoever. Whereas, I will give Daniel Jones this. He can take some hits, dude. He can actually run the ball. So if the pass is not there, I would imagine that he's going to be pretty active with his legs also, because he's, one thing we found out when he did get to the Giants, he's actually a better athlete than most of us ever thought he was.
Right. It's a double-edged sword with Anthony Richardson. I mean, let me rephrase that. There were only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL last season who had more rushing yards per game than he did. One was Lamar Jackson. I think second was Jaden Daniels. So, I mean, he's in that class, but he missed games for the second year in a row. And so that is the double-edged sword. You're not getting that with Daniel Jones per se, right? But you do have to account for his legs, and he can move the pocket. He can run it, just flat out run it if he has to, right? He can escape. He doesn't want to. That's not his game. But he can do it, and he will do it when necessary. So I think for him, the key is going to be like, don't get carried away. Don't play hero ball, because he can't do that. Like, he needs to just drop back. Who's open? Throw the ball. I know it's oversimplifying it, but basically, you're going to find, if you look back at the advanced metrics, he throws to his first read like an overwhelming amount of the time, because that's his game. Get the ball out, and then I'm done. My work here is done. But that's what they kind of want from him, frankly. They don't want him to be the hero. But here's the problem with the Colts. There will come times this year, because every team falls into this situation, where your quarterback has to make a play late in the game, a big play, and he has to go and win you a game on the last drive. Can he do that? Anthony Richardson, in fact, did do that twice late last year, because he has that big play ability. Can Daniel Jones put the team on his back in those rare situations? That's going to be the difference between being mediocre and being a playoff team.
Well, the question is Steichen the kind of guy like Kevin O'Connell? Okay, because that sumbitch over there in Minnesota has kind of proven. See, a lot of people talk about, McDaniel, resurrected Tua's career. Bullshit, dude. McDaniel gave him confidence, said, hey, dude, I believe in you. The last guy was here, hated him, literally did not want him, literally fought in the draft room against Greer, McKenzie, and Allen, and did not want him. So then he tried to even sabotage his career by starting him against the Rams and everything, which, was crazy with that offensive line and everything else. So we're talking about a guy that hated him, and then we're talking about a guy that, when you watch Skyler or any of the other quarterbacks that have been here, nobody's been prepared. Nobody's played well. I think Tua was a good player already from Alabama. The problem here is you don't understand. You have a statue, right? So statues, you need to build offensive lines and run strong. They haven't done that for 45 years. They didn't do it for Marino. They're not doing it for this guy either. They still don't get it here in Miami, how you're supposed to win games in the NFL. It's really funny. But anyway, it is what it is. So I look at this situation and I say, okay, this guy is not a good QB coach or anything like that. Tua's kind of overcome. The week of Baltimore with Flores, he didn't even practice all week. They told him to go home, whatever. He went golfing. That's the story. He would go golfing in the afternoon. That's the week where Jabroni Brissett gets injured. Tua has to come off the bench and leads them against the Ravens. You see what I'm saying? He didn't even practice, and Flo hated him. He had a high school guy, a 7-on-7 guy as a quarterback's coach and all that, and he overcame all of that. So to me, we don't have a guy here that's really a QB guy. Is your guy that guy? Is he what I've seen from Minnesota is the question. How do you see it after you've been around him for a couple of years?
So it's a great question. And I think it's one we don't dig into enough in the NFL because we sometimes equate good offensive strategist, which I think Mike is, like he knows ball, right? Mike knows ball. We sometimes equate good offensive strategists and extrapolate that to a guy who can develop quarterbacks. There is a difference.
Oh, my God. You're describing John Gruden.
Oh, I covered John Gruden. John Gruden, great strategist. I mean, he can, like, sometimes you have to tell him, John, slow down. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like his mind is going a million miles an hour. Shane Steichen does the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, I don't know what you just said, because he's that kind of, he has that kind of brilliance. I really do think he does. Mike, clearly, I think is on that same level as a thinker. The question, though, is there is a difference between that, and I don't cover Mike, so I can't speak to him, but what you're describing is a lot of the same questions I have. So with Shane Steichen, the first year, Anthony Richardson comes in. He gets hurt after 5 games, so we don't really have a read on development there. But Gardner Minshew comes in, not a great player, but certainly functional, knows offense, veteran guy. He puts him in there, and he gets the absolute most out of him because he sets him up in winning situations. I think last year,
fundamentally, he's better than the other guy already as it is. So I have to give the points.
Get him there. He's already there.
Yeah, I got to give him his own love because he's a true professional at heart. Go ahead.
I agree with that. Because look, I mean, not to get on a tangent, but like from a physical perspective, physically talented perspective, Gardner Minshew is not among the better quarterbacks in the league. Never has been. But he's played a lot of ball, so there's something there. Anyway,
there's awareness. He knows that.
That's right. Exactly right.
When quarterbacks know who they are, they'll maximize whatever they have because they go, okay, I know what I am. I got to play within these parameters. And that's when he tries to play out of them is when he does get in trouble, actually.
Right. And that like Alex Smith comes to mind, right? Yes. That's the guy the guy the Colts are pointing to as like, hey, Daniel Jones, you can be the next Alex Smith. We'll see. I mean, I really respect Alex Smith. He's a good player. Was a good player. Anyway, so with Shane and Mike to some degree from what you're describing, the question still remains. All right, we know you know offense. Everybody around the league respects that about you, but can you do this job? Because it's a bigger job than that. And that is still, the jury's still out on that, for Shane Steichen. Like, he's worked with Jalen Hurts, he worked with Justin Herbert, and he kind of got this reputation as a guy who developed those guys. But let's be honest, that's not the same thing as developing Anthony Richardson. Okay, that is not the same thing. Those guys were miles ahead, and they were just wired differently, played a massive amount of college football, and just were like prodigious talents. So that's a different deal. This is where we're going to find out, can he bring something out of Daniel Jones that we haven't seen before? I don't know. And I think that will tell us something about, who he is. But certainly, I ask people around the league about Shane Steichen. They all tell me the same thing. Like, look, this guy is the real deal offensively, game planner, all that. As a head coach, they have questions, and so do I. So we'll see.
All right, I saw you in the scrum with Tyreek Hill, and with Xavier Howard and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm expecting. I thought Xavier Howard was toast 2 years ago. I don't know what you've seen overall. I'm actually with the receivers that Miami has. I think they should be able to take advantage of it. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I am very, very curious to see how this goes because they are sort of carrying themselves as if he's going to play an important role in this game. I'm a little bit blown away by that, because he's been here 2 weeks, man. And he's been on the couch for 18 months.
I know.
So I talked to him at length yesterday. I like where his head is at, right? I mean, because there's been a lot going on with Xavier in the last couple of years. I got a story coming out hopefully tomorrow on this, just on where he's at as a person. He's had a lot of this off the field drama. He talked about he really tried to find himself the last year and a half. So, I mean, kudos to him if he's kind of found or discovered something, I guess, is kind of what he described to me. So I applaud that. I think as a player, look, Lou Anarumo, you know Lou. He was on the Dolphins staff when X was drafted, and he is this guy's biggest fan. Okay, I'm just telling you now. He loves this guy. But I will say this. Look, the responsibility this week is a little bit less on his shoulders because he's not the number one corner. They do have Shavarius Ward, who they brought in free agency. I love him. I think he is the kind of competitor, in your face, physical, press man corner that exactly what they need with this scheme they're going to play. They also added Cam Bynum, that's the center fielder, back there at free safety from Minnesota. He, in training camp at least, this guy was around the football all the time. Great ball skills. So they need him to get the actual takeaways this year, but he led the NFL in pass deflections last year. So, he has a nose for the ball. So we'll see what level of responsibility falls to X. You also have Kenny Moore in the slot, like one of the best slots in the game. So he'll be in there. X is going to be that other, at least on paper, that other outside corner. So he's going to have to see Jalen or Tyreek from time to time in that game. And I'm very curious to see how that goes. 32 years old, man.
I know. And Colts favored by 1. What's the prediction?
I give a slight edge to the Colts. I think home field, the whole nine, Jim Irsay dedication ceremony, that's going to be very emotional. The crowd's going to be into it because of that. So they got a lot going in their favor that way. And then I do think the defense, the Colts defense, we didn't talk a lot about that other than X, but their front, if they come through, they should make this tough on Miami. They got to try to exploit that offensive line to the best of their ability. The guy to watch, Latu, excuse me. I always do that. Latu. The first defensive pick in the draft last year, he was like so close on so many sacks last year. If he closes the deal, they're going to have a hell of a player on their hands this year.
All right, Stephen Holder, baby. He's got Mike McDaniel getting on the firing line already after week 1. I love it. Follow him on Twitter at Holder Steven and catch his work there at ESPN covering the Colts in the NFL. Stephen, as always, I appreciate you taking the time, my man. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the weekend. Bless you, my brother.
All right, same to you, brother.
You got it. There you go. Stephen Holder, baby, getting it done. It's interesting how we see it, they see it, the storyline with X. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think our guys can have a field day with X, but there's other guys that he feels strong about in the backfield. And obviously, as you heard, in the pass rush, and this is a line that is new. They're unproven. They've got a lot to prove as a new unit and give to a time. It would be nice for once in a blue moon that an offensive line give 2 or 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Would be nice, like instead of just 2. It's hard to make a living that way where you only have 2 seconds to pass the ball. But we appreciate Stephen Holder for taking some time and joining us here on the program and talking a little Miami Dolphins Colts. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink or Solana donation. And as for Bitcoin, by the way, we are at 109.9. So we went up to 112. Now we've been hanging around the 110 area now. As for the market, the Dow is up 57 points. The S&P is 11 points up. And the NASDAQ is barely up, barely even registering. Anyway, there you go. What do we got here? Super chat. Ryan Woolridge. Are you brothers with Orlando Woolridge? It says, hi, bro. Who should I pick for NFL Survivor Board? Oh, Jesus. What's the NFL Survivor Board? I don't know. Is that like a team that is not going to lose? Is that what that is?
I believe that's the one where you pick a team 1 week. If they win, you move on, but you can't pick that team again. So you kind of got to know their scheduling and things like that, because once you use a team, you can't use them again.
Okay, let me see if there's one, and I'm not giving you the damn Dolphins because I'm not going to do that to you, bro, because if they screw us, which they've done many, many times, I don't want to do that. Let me see if there's like one that is like a team that's not that good, but I think they're going to win this week, and that's kind of what you're looking for. Like, I would tell you, dude, I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles this week. Take it, and that'll be good for you, but there's no freaking way I would ever do that. That would be insane. Chiefs Chargers, I'm not picking Justin Herbert. He's a choker. Bucks Falcons, that's a tough one overall because you're in Atlanta. I can see Atlanta kind of surprising, but I think the Bucks will eke that one out, but I'm not touching it. Bengals Browns, I like the Bengals actually a lot. But it's a divisional game. It's Browns. I'm going to stay away from it. Dolphins, Colts, will stay away from that. Raiders at Patriots. I think the Patriots will win. The Raiders have problems, but they still can, if Geno takes care of the football and Genti is running the ball, they could give the Patriots a game. I wouldn't touch that. Cardinals and Saints. I'm not touching that one either. Cardinals could win this one, but Saints are home, so you just never know. There's no way Aaron Rodgers I'm picking, and it's the Jets. No. Giants at Commanders. Love the Commanders. That's an easy one. That's an easy one to pick right there. I'd take the Commanders. That would be my lead dog right now, would be the Commanders. They're a decent team, so you have to give that one away early. Panthers, Jags. God, I can't trust anybody. Dude, send Kaufman a link because I sent her one yesterday, but she's not finding it. She just sent me a text. Titans, Broncos. Let's see. No. I mean, I could take the Broncos here. Yeah, I could take the Broncos here. That'd be comfortable. Washington and the Broncos are comfortable takes. Titans will lose that game. Niners at Seahawks. All this stuff going on with the Niners. I'm not going to trust them right now. Lions at Packers. Ooh, that's tough. Texans at Rams. The left tackle and the quarterback. Let's see. Ravens, Bills. Vikings, Bears. Dude, I would just take the Commanders. That's what I would run with, Ryan. I would go with Commanders. That's kind of, or the Broncos. Commanders, Broncos are safe. They're both home. I don't have a lot of respect for the Titans yet. I don't have a lot of respect for the Giants. I would settle on one of those two because they're both home. They're not playing great opponents, and live with it. Maybe the Broncos, because the kid could have second-year jitters and all that, but the Titans aren't a very good team. You should win that game, but maybe he doesn't have the same kind of year moving forward like he had last year. They figure him out. This is the game to take advantage at home. So I would go with there. So there we go. All right. Did you send it? Okay. All right. All right. She should be on now. We'll get Michelle Kaufman. We'll get the latest on what's going on with Suarez and Busquets and Avilas and Weingart and the disgrace that is Inter Miami and the embarrassment that they are. So we'll get to that, and then I'll get back to talking a little Dolphins. We got news yesterday. Tua said some stuff. I want to get into that also. Please don't forget to smash. Only got 51 likes, and there's 103 watching. So easy, you guys can get us over 100 right away, dude. Right away. We'd appreciate it immensely. Gets the algorithms going. More people that like the Dolphins, Panthers, Heat, Marlins, Canes, Inter Miami, all that we'll watch. Not that we really talk. We bash Marlins. We don't really talk Marlins. Hey, by the way, what happened to all those Marlins fans? Where are you guys? Did they just get swept by the Nationals? Didn't they used to beat the Nationals? I mean, they were headed to the playoffs. They were just tearing it up. You know, they had this a streak for a month and a half. So some of you acted like you really cared. What happened to all those people that love the Marlins so much? There's so many of you. Damn. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, man. What's my prediction for tonight's game? Pain. Dallas will get their ass kicked, whatever the score is, but Dallas will get their ass kicked. That place is crazy. Let's see. What's it called? Michelle's never made excuses for anybody, dude. She calls it like she sees it. So I doubt that she'll make any excuse. I know how this season's going to go because I've witnessed it my whole life, but I'm excited to watch anyway. Yeah, I mean, we're Dolphin fans. What the hell are we going to do? Give up on the team? No, dude. It is what it is. We got to stick with them through thick and thin, and hopefully one day they'll figure it out. And then that day we'll be happy as hell because we have suffered like crazy. Lou from Dade is in. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you. Exactly. Like, share, and subscribe. Sweet Baby Ray. Dale Youngblood. Jonathan Cagle, I see. Oscar Rojas was in. TJ Superman. Ocala Joe. Brooklyn Rob. He's loving Avalanche. One-Eyed Jack. Let's see. NorCal, Waking and a Bacon, Nyborg, Pipe Man Slim, Big Johnson. Did she get the thing, or what's the deal?
It's showing sent, so I don't know whether to send her again or.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe she also got, something. We're trying to. She doesn't know if there's some news that may be coming down today, so she wanted to schedule it as early as she can on the show because she's afraid that if she waits a little longer, some news could break. And I'm wondering, you just sent it. She was asking for it. I know she probably got it right away, and so I'm wondering if she got any notice on anything going on with the team, because I mean it's pretty disgraceful that the MLS and everybody's been just absolutely quiet. There are no headlines on any of the websites, as I showed you. It's disgraceful. So just kind of insane what's going on. It's almost like they're trying to. It's not like, people try to sweep things under the rug. Nah, they never do that, right? Epstein. Anyway, what else do we have here going on? Jeff in Long Island. Brian Rake. Think Blue Dodgers is smashing it from L.A. He's probably also hanging with NorCal, burning one. John Pedrick. What else? Who's there? Christian. Good morning to you, sir. James Vivinetti. Eric Scott. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. True Fin fan. Thank you all out there. Appreciate you all. All right, let's go to it. Let's talk a little football with the one and only Michelle Kaufman, the one that gets to cover, I don't know what the hell we saw the other night, Michelle. I mean, I don't know how disgusted I am, how embarrassed. I would imagine that the Moss family has got to be beside themselves. I'm disgusted overall that there are no headlines in the MLS for it. There are no headlines in Inter Miami for it. nobody's they're not addressing this for the last couple days publicly, and for this to go on and not say a damn thing, it's pretty embarrassing. It just seems like you're trying to find a way to let it calm down so you can sweep it under the rug one way or another. What do you know? What's going on here?
Well, I agree that there should have been statements already made by the club. They should have apologized. That no matter what, you at least say we are looking into this, or Leagues Cup is looking into this, MLS is looking into this, and we do not condone this type of behavior. An apology to the fans. You know, think of all the kids who watch this, even those players' children who watch these games. The behavior was unacceptable, period. End of story. Punto y aparte, as my mom says. Okay, punto y aparte. No matter who was involved and what the details were, it was a very, very ugly look. It's a stain on the club. And no, there hasn't been any public statement. I do know, I can tell you that Leagues Cup is the entity that is investigating it very fully. It's been going on for 3 days. I have spoken to people within that organization.
Wait a minute.
We're expecting
bullshit.
Yeah,
we're getting bullshit. Oh, you're suspended for next year's League Cup. Is that what we're doing? So the MLS and Inter Miami are going to clean their hands of this crap. They're not going to.
I don't know that. No, we don't know that. I'm telling you that
what I'm
the
telling
Leagues Cup.
What I'm telling you is,
but listen, the Leagues Cup. I agree that any sanctions for next year's League Cup are empty and worthless because, first of all, two of the main people involved have not even signed contracts yet for next year, which is Suarez and Busquets. So it's possible they could both even be retired by next year. Would mean nothing. The only thing that they could do for next year's World Cup that would be a massive blow, I guess, is if they tell Inter Miami that as a club, that they're banned from next year's tournament, or very harsh would be that they lose their spot in the champions. The whole point of the Leagues Cup basically is so that they can qualify for the CONCACAF the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which leads to the Club World Cup. Anyway, by finishing second, they are guaranteed a spot in that. Now, if they decide to revoke that and say, sorry, your team doesn't deserve to be in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, then Orlando City would go through and Miami would be out of the CONCACAF champ. Now, all of those are next year's things. As far as MLS and sanctioning for these next couple of games of Charlotte and the Seattle rematch, September 16th, in less than 2 weeks, these two teams play again in 12 days. In 12 days from now, these two teams are playing again in a regular season MLS game in Chase Stadium. So here's the thing. From what I understand, the investigation is done by the disciplinary committee of the Leagues Cup. The Leagues Cup is obviously a tournament that is co-hosted by MLS and Liga MX, and the overarching organization is CONCACAF. It's a CONCACAF, sanctioned tournament that is hosted by MLS and Liga MX. And the tournament disciplinary committee is the one that is interviewing people, investigating this. From what I have been told, there will be announcements, decisions, whatever, probably today or for sure by the end of this week. So today or tomorrow, I'm expecting news today or tomorrow on this. And then the question is, does MLS jump in and is the announcement going to be Leagues Cup is sanctioning X, and in addition to that, MLS is also sanctioning X? There is one precedent that I saw. Actually, it was on a comment on my podcast, Inside Inter Miami, where we talked a lot about the brawl. Somebody put a comment, which I didn't actually know this. This was interesting to me. That there are two precedents that are interesting. One I knew about, one I did not. One is that within MLS, there was a spitting incident in the last couple years, last year or the year before, I think it was Hector Herrera, a spitting incident, and the MLS did suspend that player for 3 games, for 3 MLS games. The other precedent is that apparently Clint Dempsey, some years back during a U.S. Open Cup game, got really mad at a referee for a red card or something and pulled the booklet out of the referee's pocket. I don't remember this, but I'm going to choose to believe it's true because this person gave me this long, detailed explanation that Clint Dempsey pulled out the notebook from the referee's pocket, ripped it to shreds, as a protest.
Look for the video, Sean. Go ahead.
Ripped up the referee's notebook and made a big scene to protest this red card or whatever. And apparently, even though it was a US Open Cup game, MLS did choose to suspend him for his behavior during that game, because the truth is, and in this case too, yes, it's Leagues Cup, but the players involved in this fracas after the game were wearing Inter Miami MLS jerseys with an MLS patch on them, and they are representing MLS in this tournament, in this Leagues Cup tournament. They are representing the League of Major League Soccer. So even though it is a Leagues Cup tournament, in my opinion, MLS would definitely be able to lay down some sanctions, as a league, because they were representing the league when this happened.
Yeah. No, to me, listen, I'm disgusted with Inter Miami, period. Like right now, the Moss family has said nothing, and they should have already made a statement that they're embarrassed. This kind of behavior is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. It's not tolerated. It should not be tolerated, period. End of story. And then the details will come out with the investigation. They should have, honestly, put out by Monday morning. There should have been a statement that says the Inter Miami, this is a classy organization. We do not condone this type of behavior. There's an investigation ongoing, but we apologize to the fans. We apologize to the families of the team. We apologize to everybody who follows this team. That was a very unfortunate and ugly ending.
And the behavior will not be accepted, period.
Not acceptable. Not accepted.
The problem that we have here is that the Moss brothers have sold their ass to Messi. And because of that, they can't go out and openly start slamming their own players, which is their stars, because then you'll piss off Papa Messi.
Well, and those two are, and by the way, those 2 players in particular are Messi's friends. Okay, it wasn't like it was Joe Schmo on the team who did it. It was Luis Suarez, who is his best friend, and Sergio Busquets, who's another one of his best friends that he brought from Barcelona. So these are 2 of his closest friends who were in the middle of this at the beginning. And, it doesn't really matter to me what I would guess, as happens a lot, when there's a team like this that has so many stars that everybody loves to hate, that all the other teams want to beat to prove themselves. When you're Seattle, you're a player in the Seattle Sounders. You just kicked Miami's butt 3-0 with their full lineup, with all of their superstars and all of their money and all of their glitz and glamour. And you are the Seattle Sounders. You saw the banner that their fans had, a banner that said, "Success is built, not bought." Okay. Right. That was a banner that was in their stadium. That is how Seattle, this was a clash of 2 clubs that were built in a very different way. And, they have always been about the homegrowns and the Tacoma Defiance players going up to the first team. I mean, most of those guys who were involved in the goals the other day were players who had been on the Tacoma Defiance, which, by the way, for Miami Fusion fans, the Tacoma Defiance for many years was coached by Wade Weber from Miami Fusion. And Wade Weber is now one of the directors of scouting and development for the Seattle Sounders. He's been involved in the Seattle Sounders organization forever, and we know how smart Wade Weber is. Anyway, this sounds like an advertisement for Seattle, but it is in the sense that this club has 9 trophies. Seattle Sounders has 9 trophies, okay? And they don't have 9 superstars on their team. They have 9 trophies, all right?
Seattle's
So my point that I was going to make.
Seattle is the class of the MLS. Miami is nowhere near Seattle's class as an organization.
Fan base? How about the fan base that does that march to the march to the stadium every game, that they march all the way downtown from all the bars? They all go to the bars and then they march down the street to, even though here, where would they march they'd march by the Dunkin' Donuts and the McDonald's on Commercial Boulevard into Chase Stadium. But
Here you'll never get that, because the marketing way that they've done it, they've created a novelty that is just reminiscing for the Argentine community. And then the second they're gone, so will those fans leave. None of them really give a shit about Inter Miami. That's the
they're
sad
messy fans. Well, that's the thing. There are a lot of people. There are some Inter Miami fans. My husband is one of them. But there are a lot of messy fans. There are a lot of messy fans.
I'm talking about the international fans, the Argentine fans, the ones that are coming to the stadium now. These are just messy fans. They're only here for a bit. As I've said many, many times over, they screwed up by not, instead of giving all into Messi and let the inmate run the asylum, they needed to go buy a young guy or the young guys they had in Campana or whoever, and that's who needed to be next to Messi. So that way those two develop the team, and then Messi leaves, the young star takes over. Instead, you got a whole bunch of old guys that you're going to get rid of in a year or two, and all those people are all going to leave, and you're going to have your new stadium, and in the second year, it's going to be half empty because people aren't going to identify with your team. And if you're just going to go buy another free agent, I see you just trading away players. Look at Kremoski. 2 weeks ago, you guys are asking him, what's your role? He's like, dude, I don't even know where I'm at. I don't know what role I'm playing, this, that. And just because you said that, boom, you're off to Parma. Idiots, dude. Idiots. These people are idiots. It's just money.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is I do think that there's, when you decide that, look, the plus side of Messi for them is $300 million in revenue a year or something like that. So yeah, that, and for the league, everybody, it's not just Inter Miami, it's the league, it's everything. The league is being marketed, through a pink lens. A lot of times, a lot of the league advertisements for different things always show the Inter Miami Stars because they are the most famous ones. They're the most famous players in the league. They are.
The club World Cup, a fake tournament. These are all 2 money grabs that they came up with because they have Messi. So they have this stage and they need to come up with ways of milking this whole thing as much as possible. And that's what this league's World Cup is. And so the League Cup is too. All these things are just money grabs. That's all this is, Michelle. It just is. It's like a big old giant friendlies that we're having here, kind of. That's why.
Yeah, I agree with that on Leagues Cup. I think Leagues Cup is unnecessary because Leagues Cup to me is the same tournament as CONCACAF Champions Cup. Because yes, in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, they throw in a team from Jamaica here, a team from Honduras, whatever. But at the end of the day, most of the teams in it that are relevant, in the later rounds, in the knockout rounds, are American teams from MLS and teams from Mexico. Those are the 2 best leagues in the region, and those are the teams that are in the CONCACAF Champions Cup year in and year out. That is the regional, just like you have Champions League, you have, in different parts of the world, Copa Libertadores. So this is the cup for the CONCACAF region clubs, is the CONCACAF Champions Cup, period. They didn't need to add another one, which is to me duplicates CONCACAF Champions Cup. This was to me a money grab. The MLS and Liga MX made this tournament. What a coincidence. Right when Messi arrived is when they had the first one. In July of 2023 was the first Leagues Cup. And guess what? Miami won it. It was an exciting game in Nashville, and Miami won it. But the truth is, Leagues Cup, and I'm going to go back now to the Seattle game. This is all going to be a good way for me to round back to that fight. The Leagues Cup was pretty much irrelevant in this country and anywhere in the world until the final, which was going to be Inter Miami against Seattle in front of 70,000 people in Seattle. They got the spectacle that they wanted. Right. No one was really paying attention to Leagues Cup until then. The attendance wasn't great. The average, they weren't showing it on ESPN or anywhere. Nobody cared about the Leagues Cup. All of a sudden, you've got Lionel Messi and his all-star team playing against Seattle, in Seattle, in front of 70,000 people. So you finally, the Leagues Cup final is here. Sunday night, big game, although around here in Miami, people were watching UM against Notre Dame in football at the same time. But anyway, bad timing. But you've got this big game, and then Seattle goes out and embarrasses, humiliates Inter Miami, winning 3-0. 3-0 in front of 70,000 people, okay? Now, after, you have to assume that some of the Seattle players were probably gloating, taunting, celebrating in the faces of these stars, which who could blame them? And that's when I think, Luis Suarez, as soon as the game ended, final whistle, he made a beeline over to Vargas. Vargas is a 20-year-old Mexican-American kid who covered Messi like he was on him the whole game. He was on him, as were other players. But Vargas in particular was playing relentless defense on Messi. He was getting under his skin, frustrating him, okay? And as is always the case, Messi is not the one who went over there to fight after the game. Messi was off to the side, shaking the hand of the coach, having the nice, good public image. Right behind him are his teammates, his bodyguards, basically, who run over there to that kid. And Suarez grabs the kid around the neck, like in a, hey, kid, let me tell you something. You know what I mean? Right. I could picture it. I wasn't there. I don't know what was said. But what I would imagine is he went over, made a beeline to that kid, like, hey, you know what, buddy? That's Lionel Messi that you were effing with, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And then Busquets gets involved, and then it just escalates from there. Everybody jumps in. Half of them were fighting. Half of them were trying to pull people away from fighting. But whatever the case is, it was very violent and ugly. It was very ugly. And then Suarez goes and spits on the head of security, a former Seattle detective. The head of security for the Seattle Sounders gets spit on by Suarez. Okay, so now MLS and Liga MX finally get the Leagues Cup final between these two big teams, 70,000 fans. The only image that is being seen around the world on, video and still photos around the world, the only images of that game are of the brawl and of the spitting, punching and spitting. They're not showing Seattle making great plays. They're not showing Seattle lifting the trophy. Nothing. All they're showing is the fight and the spitting. And that is the lasting image of the Leagues Cup final of 2025. And that is surely not what MLS wanted.
No, you've got Suarez acting like an asshole and spitting. You've got Busquets, who, to see him throw, it was like a weak ass punch.
He never does. I know. It was like a little weak little thing. Yeah.
Acting on the other kid's part, which great job by him, because might as well milk it at that moment. But the fact that Busquets went to the extreme to throw the punch, really, I did not expect, anything Suarez does.
Yeah, that we expect. Yeah.
I'm not surprised that Suarez is a scumbag. He's always been a scumbag. He will always be a scumbag. I'd suspend him for the next 9 games of the MLS season, but I know they have no guts here. But to see Busquets throw the punch was so weak on his part. And then I'm even more disgusted with Avilas, who acted like a complete lunatic punk running everywhere and throwing punches at whoever he could throw a punch at. And people are trying to constantly stop him, and he's running all over like a maniac. Weingart was another.
Wygant too. The two of them, they were in their orange vests. They weren't even playing in the game. They ran over with their orange vests and were jumping in. I know it was ugly. And then Maxi Falcone is right in the middle, but he is trying to pull someone away, but he's pulling him by the neck. That also is not a good. I think was trying to separate people, but he grabbed the guy from behind, by the neck to pull him back. So he's in all the pictures. Right in the middle of the picture is Peluca.
As a player, as it is, he pisses me off as a player. Actually,
Peluca?
I have more problems with Falcone as a player. Actually, I really do. I think he screws up a lot. To be quite honest, I'm not a fan of Falcone as a player. Period, as it is. But yeah, it just. And the fact that they have stayed quiet through all of this. And let me tell you something. They're even lucky to be in the finals because they got lucky that Orlando all of a sudden wanted to become Don Shula and the prevent effing defense because they were kicking Inter Miami's ass and running them all over the field and off the pitch. And they took a 1-0 lead. And then all of a sudden they said, we're going to pack the box and just play counter. And they opened it up they gave Inter every break in the book to get back into that game when all they had to do was continue playing their style and they would have run them right off like Seattle did. We really should have had an Orlando-Seattle final, to be quite honest. The Orlando coach is the one that lost that game because to change your style of play when you were dominating Inter, oh my God, was that catastrophically stupid. I don't know if you thought the same thing. I doubt you thought about Don Shula and the prevent defense, but I saw you laughed, and I'm sure Dave is going to laugh if he hears this because that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I do think Inter Miami did make some changes at halftime of that game that
not starting kid at the beginning was like Allende, like, oh God, like how stupid is that? I mean, give me a break, dude. Come on.
But they pressed higher. In the second half, they did adjust how they were playing. And I think that combined with Orlando taking a more defensive stance, I think that combination of things that happened in the second half led to Miami having a better chance in the second half than they did in the first half against Orlando. I don't have any problem with them winning the Orlando game. I do have a problem with the silence from the club and the league for 4 days. Today's Thursday. I'm thinking that something will come down today, but it's a lot of days of silence and a lot of days for this festering. And, I know that they are investigating and the investigation's going on. But while the investigation is going on, they still could have made a statement that says, the authorities involved are looking into this. We do not condone any violence on the field, any type of behavior like this. Unsportsmanlike behavior is not tolerated by our club. And, this is a club. David Beckham is one of the classiest guys. Their coach even said that David Beckham was waiting in the tunnel to shake the hands of all the Seattle players. And he and the Moss brothers show up to the games with the navy blazers, with the little team crest. They look so classy. They dress so classy, and they want this to be the class of MLS. I wrote that the other day, that this is a club that is so hyper aware of its image. This is a club that is all about slick marketing and trying to be the class of MLS. And what happened the other night was not classy. It was not. And we haven't heard any condemnation. We have not heard any apology. And I do think that that's been missing. And, and I know David Beckham. I know the Moss brothers personally. I've known them for a long time. And, I do know in my heart of hearts that they would not be happy with what's happening, but they have not said anything publicly. They have not said anything publicly.
Because they sold their soul. And since they sold their soul, they are now Messi's bitch. and they cannot go against Messi because that's the cash cow. And so if you go against the cash cow, then all of a sudden you're going to have a problem with him. And so this is what happens when you allow the inmate to run the asylum. This is what's going on.
Well, and they're also, remember that he hasn't signed his contract extension yet. They are still in negotiations with him. So they definitely, you know, who knows what conversations are going on in those negotiations, because we're now in September and this contract extension was supposed to be signed, from what I knew, back in June before the Club World Cup. June went by, July went by, August went by. We are now in September. He has not signed his extension yet. And who knows, you know, what kind of conversations are going on, but you definitely don't want him to be unhappy right now when you're trying to get his signature on a piece of paper, you know?
This is disgraceful, dude. What's going on with Inter Miami? I am so disappointed in them because they have sold their soul to the devil and they can't do a damn thing about it. There's not a headline in the MLS website, which is pathetic. There is not one mention of anything. They only mention the Sounders winning the Leagues Cup. They don't mention anything of the brawl. They don't mention anything of investigation. They don't mention, I mean, this is disgraceful on behalf of the MLS and Inter Miami. Okay. I don't care about the Leagues Cup. As I've told everybody, you know when it's official? When we bring pots and pans, baby. And do we bring pots and pans for the Leagues Cup? No, we don't. We bring it for the NBA Finals. We'll bring it for the MLS Cup. We'll bring it for the World Series. We'll bring it for things that matter. The Leagues Cup, we don't bring pots and pans. So if there's no action in Versailles, on 8th Street or on Bird Road, or Carreta on Bird Road, then it's
Carreta. What's this Carreta thing? Carreta
in Bird Road or Versailles in 8th
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Right? If there isn't, then it's not official. And that's what the Moss brothers should understand, that. But I get it. It's all about the money grab. And that's the real story about all of this, is that Messi has got David's balls and Moss's balls right here. And he just is controlling and doing whatever he wants. And those two are just like dogs on a leash. And look at them now. They have been neutered because they got to answer to the cash cow. And the cash cow is now bringing in stuff that is creating all kinds of problems. He's the coach, he's the GM, and he's the star. That's insane, Michelle. It's insane.
Is it different from LeBron? Is it different from someone like LeBron James in the NBA?
Well,
he handpicks his teammates and
yeah, but shit, his teammates aren't spitting on people, and by the way, and he produces. That's the other thing. You're paying a lot of money, and these guys don't produce jack shit. They don't produce jack shit. They don't win anything. Winning the Leagues Cup does not matter. You're here to win the MLS Cup. And you're not even, you lost to Atlanta, an embarrassing, the worst team in the playoffs last year. You lost to them, and you're in the middle of the brace, right, in the bracket right now. You don't look like you're a champion in the MLS Cup. You cannot compete with the top teams right now. They will run you off the field, off the pitch. I'm sorry. I mean, that's the other thing. The Moss brothers have to be looking around going, man, we're paying a lot of money, but we're not even the contenders in this league right now.
Well, they have 4 games in hand. I'm going to wait until October because they do have 4 games in hand. If they win 4 games, they're in first place. Believe it or not, they can win the Supporters' Shield. They can finish ahead of Philadelphia. They can finish ahead of Cincinnati. I mean, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they could. I'm saying they could.
You're pumping opium.
They played 4 fewer games. I'm just saying they have played 4 fewer games than any other team.
But I'm asking. Okay, so now they have a condensed schedule where they have to pack in all those games and get them all in.
Right.
They're old. You've seen them. Now let's be objective. What do you think really happens? Do you think they actually get the Supporters Shield, or do they end up right where they're at, in the middle of the pack?
I don't think they're going to end up in the middle of the pack. I think they could definitely end up in the top 3 in the standings. They really want home field advantage. There's no question. The top 4 get home field advantage. They've shown that when they go on the road, especially in big places where the fans are really into their teams, it's going to be tough. They're going to want to play in Chase Stadium, which means they have to finish in the top 4. I will predict that they're going to finish in the top 4. But yes, they do have a condensed schedule. And the reason they have such a condensed schedule now, and the reason that they're 4 games behind, is because they've been playing all these tournaments that the other teams, they played in CONCACAF Champions Club, Club World Cup, and Leagues Cup. They've played 42 games, I believe, total, which is like 10 more games than any of the other teams play. So they've played way more games with older legs. Yes.
You want to be money whores. You brought them over. You want to be money whores. You create 2 fake tournaments. Okay. You overplay him in all of this. I'm going back to Airplane. Shayna. They bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. That's what I say to that. You know, this is what you guys wanted. You guys asked for this. You should know you got a bunch of old guys and you're making them play all kinds of games. And by the way, there could be suspensions. So if there's suspensions, condensed schedule, old legs against more athletic legs, and by the way, you keep getting rid of young legs. I'm sorry. The math for me is super easy. You stay in the middle of the pack and you make no impact in the playoffs again. That's what I think happens with them. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. All
right. Well, I did think that they turned things around. They only lost 2 out of 14 games after May. They were doing very well. They actually did play well in the Club World Cup. They had a really good run after the Club World Cup where they had 2 losses in 14 games going into this Leagues Cup final. So I do think that they were playing better. I do think that they were winning a lot of games. They were beating teams in MLS. I think the jury is still out on how this MLS season is going to end. I do agree with you, though. If there are massive suspensions in MLS games, not in next year's Leagues Cup, but if they suspend, Toto Aviles and Weigand, they have replacements. If they suspend Busquets and Suarez for X number of games, that would be significant. That would be significant for sure.
And by the way, you saw Jordy grabbing that hamstring, right? So he was grabbing that hamstring in Seattle. So that was the other thing that you can see, old and wearing down, unfortunately. All right, what are you working on? Oh, by the way, Sean, you have the information on Clint Dempsey. Pass it on to Michelle so she can feel that it's official, because you got it from an MLS deal. So go ahead.
Yeah, there's video of it. He gets a yellow card, then he gets a red card. So, of course, he's getting sent off. The ref is talking to the captain, who was number 5. I think Dempsey's 2. Dempsey walks by, hits the book out of his hand, picks it up, rips it as he's walking off.
Oh, my God.
And then to go to the suspension part of this, the U.S. Open suspended him for 6 matches. And that went over 2016, 2017, and however it made it up to add up to 6 matches. Major League Soccer issued a separate 3-game suspension, but it brought him back just in time to be available for the U.S. national team in the CONCACAF Gold Cup.
Okay. So there we have it. That's good. Good precedent. Thank you for that research. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'll be using that in my story. When the sanctions come down, I can discuss whether they repeated this precedent or broke the precedent.
And the beauty is you can find the video on YouTube. So that is great. You have a great reference point to go with it. All right, Michelle, what are you working on? Oh, well, you got something else there, Sean?
Am I working on this? Oh.
This is on the MLS website from back in the day. This was actually from the MLS website.
Okay, cool. There you go. All right, so follow her on Twitter.
Oh, no, this is it. This is what I'm working on.
Yeah,
This is it. Inter Miami from now till, by the way, Messi tonight is playing against Venezuela for Argentina. It will be likely his last World Cup qualifier ever in Buenos Aires. So it's a big deal. His family flew in and everybody flew in, and all the Argentines are very excited. DePaul will also be in that game, and Talasco Segovia will be on the other side for Venezuela. This will be the last, presumably this is the last time that Messi will be playing a game that matters in his home country. So it's significant in that sense.
Yes, I just hope he doesn't get injured. That's all I'm hoping for, bro, because it's a lot of travel. And the good thing is they're off till next week. So, it's not, but he's not off. He doesn't get the week off. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about Segovia. You're young. You can overcome it. But I do worry a little bit about Messi because that's about the thing that you want to watch most of the time. All right, follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. Michelle, thank you for taking time and filling us in on all this craziness. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye.
Got it. The great Michelle Kaufman joining us from the Miami Herald, and make sure you follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. I'm not surprised she gave them a little bit more hopium because that's what they normally do because they got to write about it and keep you on the thread there. Me, I'm not. I don't do it. I'm going to watch anyway, but I'm going to tell you the Inter Miami is headed for hell down the stretch. They got a bunch of games that they got to play in a condensed amount of time. Okay. They're old. And when they face teams like Seattle will run them off the pitch again. And if they would face Orlando again, I bet you Orlando will play the way they're supposed to play, like they played in the first half when they dominated Miami. I have no idea what that coach was thinking. That made no sense to me. Anyway, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the one and only Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery for your school, your entity, whatever it is. You need uniforms, shirts, hats. Give them a ring, 786-618-1443 on the sports calendar. Tonight at 8:30, it's Dallas taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, the NFL is finally back. Tonight is opening night. Eagles are favored by 8.5. The over and under is 47.5. Dallas plus 350 on the money line. The Eagles are minus 460 on the money line. That is insane, baby. Saturday at 9 o'clock, our very own Fort Lauderdale United will visit Spokane. You can catch it on the Peacock Network. On Saturday at 7 o'clock, the University of Miami will have a bye week. The number 5 team in the country will host Bethune-Cookman. That should be over within the first 3 minutes of the game. Saturday at 7:30 at Pitbull Stadium, Miami FC will be hosting Hartford Athletic. And tomorrow night, we have more NFL action. Kansas City visiting the Los Angeles Chargers and Chokin Herbert. KC favored by 3, over and unders 46.5. KC minus 170. The Chargers are plus 140. And in Miami Dolphin news, they put out the injury report against the Colts. And Darren Waller has got a hip issue. That's why he didn't practice on Wednesday. Ethan Bonner dealing with the hammy. Jalen Wright with the knee also did not practice. Achan, Davis, Tyreek, and Austin Jackson all practice on limited basis, dealing with minor nicks and knacks, but are all expected to play on Sunday. Colts favored by 1. The over and under is 46.5. Dolphins minus 115 on the money line. Colts minus 105. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Don't forget, please smash the hell out of the like button. We need you to smash the like button. And we thank Michelle Kaufman for taking the time. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, when in the hell in your lifetime or anybody's lifetime have you ever seen a head coach's wife, girlfriend, or other half be on the field? What an effing joke. You're talking about Belichick and the 24-year-old. Bro, he's a 75-year-old man that's got a 24-year-old piece of ass. I think we keep overlooking horniness. You know, in football, there are fundamentals. You got to learn to block and tackle and position yourself the right way, leverage. All these things you got to learn before you actually are successful at it. Well, let's get back to just male fundamentals. We are all horny-ass creatures. This guy is so close to death, okay? The guy's 75, 73, 74, whatever it is. He's got a shriveled up pecker. The guy is, you know, he knows he doesn't have much time left. This 24-year-old is giving him attention. To him, this is the hottest goddess in the world, all right? So for that, as the great late Mad Dog would say, that 3-inch patch, he's doing whatever it takes. He doesn't care what you and I think, because when he goes home, he sees 24-year-old naked. We're the only place where we're going to give you the truth. What's really going on? This is a man thinking with the other head. That's all it is. It's a horny-ass old man. And he was with a woman kind of his age for like 15 years. Now he got a woman a third of his age, and he's like, wow, no wrinkles. She's hot, whatever. I'm not telling you she's the hottest woman in the world or whatever, but for a 75-year-old geezer with a shriveled up pecker, he is loving life, bro. He's got himself a goddess, and he doesn't care anymore. He just doesn't care. It's not the Bill Belichick gruff old man that you grew up with, that it's all about football and business and all that. His business is ass. Jordan Hudson's ass. That's it, dude. This is what it's all about. He doesn't care what you and I think anymore. That's why he has balloons and stars over his press conference. Who the hell has balloons and stars? A guy that is enamored with a hot piece of ass. That's it. We gotta stop. Don't look too much into this. This is a horny old geezer getting his little shriveled pecker off, and that's all it is. That's all this is. The North Carolina stuff, he needs money to feed her ass, right? Start her little, jewelry, gold digger thing and whatever and all that. Hey, sweetheart, you start whatever you want. You're giving me that ass tonight. That's it. The guy is a old gruffy dude that is going to die with a big old smile on his face. That's it, dude. This is what it's all about. That's what Bill Bell. This ain't about football. This ain't about any of this. Is about Jordan Hudson's ass. So she can walk all over the field. She can walk all over him. As long as she's giving it up when he gets home, he doesn't care about anything else. He already did everything he was going to do. He's won all the Super Bowls. He's won all the praise and all that. He just wants ass now. Jordan Hudson ass. That's it, dude. That's all. That's all this is. That's all. So the old man you know what? Listen, it's your life. It's my life. Live it the way you want to live it. You know, the one thing that I've been able to do on this platform going into its 6th year is that I realized I'm not here anymore to make people satisfied or anything like that. I'm just going to be me, and I'm just going to call things like it is. And I don't have anybody to stop me or anything like that. I'm not doing anything crazy, but I am going to be honest with people. Okay, I'm going to be honest about what's going on with Inter Miami. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on, what no writer can tell you, because they can't say this, because they have to go back on the beat and go in there. I don't have to. I don't care. They can kiss my ass over there at Inter Miami. They can kiss my ass at every other team, because I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. I've always been like that, even when I would go back to the teams, by the way, if you followed me. But now I can just really, I don't have to worry about it. I don't really have to even care about it. So I'll tell you what really is going on, because most people really don't have the balls to tell you what they really feel about what's going on. Okay? That's just kind of the way it goes. And this is what's going on with Belichick. Stop looking into it and thinking, oh my God, he's being dumb. No, he's just a horny ass old man. Okay? And she's playing nurse at night, and she's playing female cop and cheerleader, and he's loving life. You know, they're role playing on the beach, and they're role playing in the bedroom, and they're, you know, and he's having the time of his life. Maybe the woman he was with, the last whatever, was lame as hell in bed, and now he's got some, you know, wild honey that is willing to do anything with the elderly. That's it. And we have those women, that woman that's with Al Pacino, who's been with like 2 other old dudes. You know, these are women that have like deep daddy issues, and they're good. They love making sex with grandpa. What can I tell you? It is what it is. Anyway. Please smash the hell out of the like button. You still haven't gotten us over 100. We're at 79, which is pretty good. Yes, sir, Sean Stanley.
No, I just wanted to add on to it because it's funny to me, because everybody's like, oh, you've never seen. How many times has anybody ever been worried on TV of anybody being on the sideline? Because wives are down there. Yeah. There's wives, there's families down there pregame. I've been down on the field when you're taking pictures and stuff like that. They're there, but nobody cares because it's not Bill Belichick. Nobody cares about a bathroom on the sideline because it's not Deion Sanders, because there's been stuff there where they can't.
It's not Jordan Hudson who brings nobody's family brings attention to themselves unless, you know what? Gracie Hunt. Do you know who she is?
That name does not sound familiar, no.
Okay, well, that's Lamar Hunt, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Hunt family, okay.
Okay, guys, go ahead. Have some fun. Check out Gracie Hunt. She puts herself out there. She's a pretty, sexy girl, you know, all that. And she's on social media, and she's constantly doing, like, she puts herself out there. So when she goes on the field, some people will notice because that's Gracie Hunt, and she's got a social media presence and all that. I know a lot of stupid shit, okay? Most people are like, see, Sean didn't even know any of that. So I follow silly shit like that. But Jordan is at another level. And so Sean's 1,000% right. There's plenty of family members on pregame. They give them passes all the time to go down there and all that. But with Jordan Hudson, we look at it differently. And all it is just a hot piece of ass and an old man that is just loving it, dude. That's all. That's it. Jaybird says, I'm done with Inter Messi. They've proven to be amateur team, and the Moss brothers are clueless. Happy I'm following Fort Lauderdale United women's professional soccer team. And they've got the men's, too. The thing is that they're kind of doing it the right way. That's the thing. And one of the things that I like about what Tommy gets what's been wrong with our soccer structure in our country. And so more and more people are doing this, where you start with the academies all the way up into the teams. That's how you're supposed to build it. And the way the Moss brothers are trying to do it, where they're just trying to shortcut and just buy old guys. The problem is it might have worked 20 years ago in the MLS, Jay. It might have, you know, because it was a different league then. It was older. You would have been more competitive. Now, no. Now it's younger and more athletic. You're not going to get away with that shit. And that's where trading away Campana. Robert Taylor wasn't young, but he was like 28. And, you know, now obviously Kremoski's got no future and everything else. You start doing all of this, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And you're not building young next to it. And that's just dumb. Just dumb. And really, I'm really disappointed that the Moss brothers have said absolutely nothing. And it just shows how they're just Messi's bitch at this point, and they can't say anything. Can you imagine an owner did not come out to say this behavior will not be tolerated and is unacceptable? The Moss brothers can't even come out and say that? Every owner that would have their players spit on somebody would have to come out and make a statement and say, this is unacceptable, and we will deal with this. Like nothing. There's not a word, not a mention. The MLS has not one single mention, headline of it on their website. Like it never happened. That's how Inter Miami and the MLS are acting, like it never happened, dude. I mean, it's really embarrassing, dude. Really embarrassing. Sam the man, exactly. Let the old man enjoy life. Just understand, it will be a train wreck. This isn't about football. This is about ass. That's all it is. Magnus says, I just threw 400 on the Fins plus 1.5. I think it's easy money. I hope so, dude. I bet it. I bet the Fins too, and I took the money line also. They better win this game. I mean, they better win this game. Gracie Hunt, sister of Mike Hunt and York Hunt. Anyone seen Mike Hunt? Anyone seen Mike Hunt? Watch Porky's, and then you'll get it. If you're too young, you should watch Porky's anyways. It might hold up. There's a lot of funny scenes in it. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Very nice of you. Sending my donation to Tyreek Hill Alimony GoFundMe. All proceeds go. Big O's new sponsor, Man of the People. Big O, please, for the final time, give me the name of that indie bar. I'll go Saturday going to St. Elmo's. Are you talking about the Lario's? And by the way, dude, if you're going to Laria's for dinner, you need to make a reservation. (317-638-7706). Laria's Italian Restaurant. 317-638-7706. If you're going to Indy, that's the best Italian food there. It's run by an Italian family. They serve they serve like family servings. The second you walk in, you're like, I'm in Indianapolis. Like, what? Like, you'll just feel like you sit down, you'll have a Peroni, and you're just like, brother, they got probably some Italian soccer game going on or something. Like, seriously, bad-ass Italian restaurant, Laria's in Indianapolis. You will love it. Good people, too. Very nice. Very nice. I made it a thing to go there every year for 20 years, and I would take people that were new to the combine or whatever, and I would tell them, hey, you got to go to Laria's and all that. But please make a reservation. Do it now. Like, call them. Yeah, they're open now at noon here. So call them and make sure you make your reservation ahead of time, my brother. Okay? That place gets busy. Okay? It's busier than a Burger King bathroom. Let's see. Just ask Humpty. Frankie says, Big O, will you be watching The Smashing Machine when it comes out? What's The Smashing Machine when it comes out? I'm sorry, Frankie. That went over my head. I don't know what that means.
The Rock's new movie of Mark, I believe Mark Carr. It's an MMA fighter. Yeah, it's about his life.
Maybe. Oh, that's the one that he lost weight for? Because yes. Rock is skinnier now. That's the movie.
Mark Coleman. Yeah. Sorry, Mark Coleman. I said Mark Kerr. Mark Coleman.
Yeah, I've got the pass. So, yeah, I can watch that. Why not? Definitely. What else? By the way, I saw a movie with the wife yesterday called what's what's that called? Something room that like you have to get out of it. What's that called? Escape Room. I think that's just the name of the movie, Escape Room. It's about like these 5 people that are sent this box and they're like they get $10,000 if they get through it. And I'm not going to tell you anymore, but I enjoyed the movie. Thought it was actually pretty good. It's an old movie. It's like 5, 6, 7 years old or something like that. But I actually enjoyed it. Never saw it before. Saw it with the wife yesterday on Netflix or Prime or one of those two. I forgot which one it was. What else do we have here? Maybe before the game, but during the game and immediately after the game, except for maybe the Super Bowl or the playoff games, and certainly not in personal interviews with the head coach. I don't know what that means, Oscar. Dale says, I got my rear beat for watching Porky's when I was a kid. Parents were not happy. LOL. It's a great movie. It was funny in those days. Yeah. Let's see. We can put them up for a what's it called? The Pecker what's it called? With what was her name now? Now I'm Beulah Ballbreaker. When she's Tommy's Pecker thing, when she wants to put him up for a lineup. And then the guy says, we can bring in a sketch artist and Miss Ballbreaker can describe the penis. And everybody's just like laughing. And then the principal's like, please, can we call it a tallywhacker? Penis is so personal. Brett said, I heard the last Italian restaurant I went to was run by the mafia. Featured menu items was broken leg of lamb. Frankie says, should I put Ollie Gordon as my flex for the weekend for fantasy football? Hell no. No. No, I mean, Frankie, is your roster that bad? Like, he's unproven. We have no idea. I love him. I love what I've seen, but we have no idea. And we have a coach that doesn't stick to the run. Short yardage. What did he do the other couple weeks back? How did Achane get injured? Short yardage. Only our coach. Yeah, no, let's, we've only run him for 2 years. Let's run Achane short yardage. What do I need to see Achane for short yardage? I don't want to use Achane for short yardage. And there he goes, got injured. So that's the coach we're talking about. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. All right, let's get to talking a little bit. Let me get to Dolphins here in 1 second, but let me first of all talk a little market and crypto first. Let me get that out of the way since we always like doing that. And market right now, bounce back. It is up 187 points. The S&P is up 21, and the NASDAQ is barely up about a fifth of a point. But hey, it's better than being down, right? As in crypto right now, Bitcoin is still flirting around the 109 now instead of 109.9, which was closer to 110. It is at 109.437 right now. Ethereum is sitting at $4,300 right now. Nobody's really taking off right now in crypto. And of course, we thank our friends at R&M Contractors, and they could do it all for you. 305-345-3649. Check out their Instagram at RMC Fisher Island. Their work is second to none. Folks, I tell you about Bitcoin all the time and why you should get Bitcoin. Well, public companies now hold over 1 million Bitcoin. They have crossed the 1 million mark. 1,442 Bitcoins right now. That shows you, and it is growing. Question is, what are you doing? The U.S. now has more unemployed folks than job openings for the first time since 2009. We are going the other way. They are producing less and less jobs. Okay? U.S. companies posted just 1,494 new jobs in August. It is the lowest for a month since 2009. Layoffs have surged 39% to 85,979. Listen to this. You guys want to freak out? Sit down. Have a seat. Okay? The government took in all of our taxes the last 2 months, collecting taxes from everybody. Okay? 2 months of tariffs, like $30 billion this past month. 2 months of tariffs. And they still borrowed/printed $1.1 trillion in the last 48 days. So after collecting all the taxes, all the tariffs, because we're going to be so rich, they still printed another $1.1 trillion. This train ain't stopping. There's only one thing that's finite, and it's Bitcoin. It isn't the dollar. They're printing the hell out of it. Oh, and by the way, our trade deficit, which kind of was the idea to, shrink it. Well, the U.S. trade deficit, the difference between imports and export goods, has grown substantially in 2025 compared to 2024. Based on the latest data from the U.S. Bureau of Economics and U.S. Census Bureau year to date, all right, the goods and services deficit through 2025 reached $421.7 billion, making it a 38.3% increase. That's $161.5 billion higher from the same period of 2024. Surge is driven by a 12.1 rise in imports, outpacing 5.2 increase in exports. Preliminary data for July 2025 shows further widening with the monthly deficit at $78.3 billion. So, the geniuses that we voted in, they wanted to shrink the deficit and make it positive and all that, but there's a lot of things that go into that. We use pesticides and all kinds of stuff, and many countries around the globe don't want our produce. They don't need our meat. Hell, we don't even have enough meat for us. That's why it's going up. When it comes to cars, did you know? I'll give you an example. Jeep is number 7 in Japan. Do you know why Jeep is number 7 in Japan? Because they altered their cars. It's what this government doesn't tell. Oh, no, we want our cars sold. Nobody wants it because all the roads in Spain or in Japan or in China or whatever are skinnier. In Italy, skinnier. They don't have big-ass roads. They don't have Escalades and all that. They can't do that stuff. So you've got to shrink your cars, adjust your cars before you can even sell them over there. Do you think we do that? No. Oh, and by the way, our hoods aren't even good enough to go to certain places in Asia. They have hood tests. Why? Because the streets are so narrow. There's so many cars in the streets. People are crossing. People and cars collide all the time in Europe and in Asia. So the hood cannot affect the head. They have a ball test that is the head that tests your hood. You have to change the hood. There's just a lot of things. Most people don't keep up with any of this stuff. Okay? I'm a different cat. I'm a different bird. It's just the way it is. Okay? But it's just funny. Everything is getting worse. They're printing at a faster pace than they were the last 4 years. Okay? Every president picks up the pace. The deficit that they thought they were going to lower, it's getting worse. So inflation's getting worse. Job market's getting down. The growth is slowing. Every month, our growth is slower and slower and slower. get Bitcoin. It's the only thing that outpaces all of this. Your money is dying. I'm not a financial advisor. I can only give you facts. What you do with it, it's up to you. We thank the folks at R&M Contractors for our crypto segment. And again, if you're looking for complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, maybe waterproofing your terrace, balcony, flood test report, please reach out to Ray and Mike, 305-345-3649, and check out their work on Instagram at RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. All right. What else do we have? Juan says, I can't decide if I start Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle. My gut tells me Smith. It's a great question. I'm going to go Jalen Waddle. On that one, actually, because Tyreek will face their best corner. Jalen will face X. He can easily burn X. Yeah, I kind of like that overall. And Devontae Smith still has to deal with another monster that's on the other side, and tight ends, and a running game, and a running quarterback. Yeah, I'm going to go with Waddle. One. I'm going to edge Waddle over Devonta Smith. Okay? That'll be my homer pick. Blame me for being a homer, but I'm kind of looking at the football side of it. I kind of like Waddle a little bit, So there you go. Video Garage says, come here for sports talk. Big O wants to be a Bitcoin pumper. My brother, I've been talking about it since it was at 16K. So don't sound stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, we're 100,000 over. You might be a little late. Maybe you're a rookie and you just got here or something, or probably you couldn't find your asshole with a funnel. But you're a little late for that, my man. You're way late when I've been talking about it for 6 years now. So, pandemics and everything. So if you just tuned in, my man, see, the problem is if you're just a fly-by-nighter and you just come by, you're better off not commenting on what's actually going on because you're going to sound really stupid. You know what I mean? So you won't know that I talked about Avalanche at $10 and it's at 25 right now, or Chainlink at 6 and it's at 20 now, that kind of stuff. But that's all right. You go ahead. We were talking about Ethereum at 900 and 1,200 and we're at 4,000. But Video Garage, maybe if you got out of your fucking garage and get your head out of your ass, you might actually understand that we know what the hell we're talking about here. Okay? So there you go. So, there's always an idiot. There's always an idiot that they open their mouths and all they do is expose how freaking stupid they are. Anyway, Caneswear. We love Brett at Caneswear. Jeff, getting it done. Good people out there, man. And use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at Caneswear. All right. BIG010. Online or in person. Well, another mystery solved on the show. So if you remember, as we were going along this whole Darren Waller fiasco, bullshit, lies, exactly. What did I tell you? For weeks now, they are a bunch of liars. He's either injured or he's got some mental issue. Because those are the only two things that exist in his life and why he's been inconsistent. Mentally, he doesn't hold up for any responsibility, whether it's football, marriage, or rapping. Doesn't hold up. A lot of talk, doesn't hold up for any of it. Or he's constantly injured. But what we did tell you was that Mike McDaniel was an absolute liar and a complete bullshitter. And you can tell. Not that anybody on the beat is going to call him out and say, What I'm going to say, not that anybody I'm sure on QAM said it and flat out called him a liar. I actually sent some texts to some of the people in the building and told them, dude, if you guys are going to lie about Darren Waller, at least come up with a better lie. That's what I told them. Flat out. Several people in the building, I said, dude, don't embarrass yourselves like this. Tell them what's going on. And here we are. Darren Waller, hip issue, did not practice Wednesday. It's not that you don't want to rush him. It's that you can't rush him. Okay? Don't tell me this bullshit when Chris Myrick comes off the street for 3 years and you throw him right in there. And Chubb and Phillips are coming off major surgeries and major injuries, and they're thrown right in there. Give me a break. I wasn't born yesterday. And that's why I call bullshit when I see it, when I hear it, because you're not going to get it by me. It's really near impossible for most of these teams, Inter Miami, to get the bullshit by me. I've been doing this way too long. So to rely on the unreliable is pure insanity. We'll see if he can actually take the field and contribute. But obviously, if he can't even practice Wednesday, he hasn't practiced really overall. What more can you expect from the guy? I know there'll be a couple of you psychos out there. No, you know what they're doing? They're doing this on purpose so everybody thinks that he's injured, and they're going right under the radar, and he's going to come out firing, and he's just going to have 150 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay. But as expected, all it was an absolute lie after lie after lie after lie every time they asked them about Darren Waller. So he's been injured for well over a month. Because if he can't practice at all, he must be injured. That's how I have to look at it. I can't take your word for it because you're not going to be honest about it. You've lost credibility in my eyes. I mean, he's the worst talker, so he can't be a good liar. The good liars will lie to you with authority, with conviction, with confidence. They're not going to stutter. They're not going to flinch. Nothing. This guy is, and then his brain is just like working. Let me think about what I'm going to say now, and then it comes out. Ethan Bonner, I don't even know how important he is, anyways. But a hammy did not practice, and Jalen Wright with the knee did not practice. Achane, Davis, Tyreek, and Austin Jackson all practice on limited basis. Achane and Davis are dealing with calf injuries. Tyreek is dealing with 2, oblique and a calf. And then Austin Jackson with the toe, all limited. So maybe more precautionary. These are all proven players that they've been able to play in the NFL. So you hope that they're able to transition. But there is an adjustment here at the beginning of the year when you go from this off-season stuff to real games and real hitting, and that starts to take a real toll on your body. So we'll see. But that's a lot of injuries to start the season, dude. Damn, that's a lot of injuries. It's crazy. I finished Hard Knocks with the Bills. Some of you probably didn't watch it because, you don't like the Bills and all that stuff. I watch all the Hard Knocks. I don't know. But let me tell you what I did see from this Hard Knocks. Boring as hell. They didn't want them there, so I can understand that they didn't want them there. So they gave them the most generic and sterile Hard Knocks I have ever seen. No train wrecks like we were which is unfortunately entertaining for others, not for us, or other places that have been train wrecks in the past. No real fun, no characters. Some of the things that you end up, Charlo or whatever, they just didn't have enough personality or anything like that, overall. I will say this. The one thing that did come out of it is, they got chemistry on that team. They got chemistry. There's no doubt about that, And I hate to say this because it's kind of blasphemous, but I don't think it's something that you guys will disagree with me. Josh Allen just looks like a really good person. Forget the player, okay? He just looks like a really good human being, So it looks like he's pretty grounded right now and overall, you know what I'm saying? So good for him, at least in that sense. But I hope they lose every game. But, man, that was a boring Hard Knocks. I watched all 5 of them, and I get it. But, wow. Anyway. Let's see. All right. What else do we have going on? Was Waller signed injured? Probably not. He probably just got injured right in the first week and been tweaking stuff ever since. This has been his MO. It's just what it is. This is his MO. Lenny Pena, Tommy. Yes, Tommy. Yes. Big O will not sugarcoat BS. That's why the people that listen to this show will listen to the show, so they can actually hear real opinions and not fence straddling. Like some people have to fence straddle. I don't have to fence straddle. Don't care about it. Not worried about it. So, we're going to call out whatever BS the Dolphins do, the Heat are doing, Inter Miami, if they're pulling some kind of BS, we'll just have to call it. That's just kind of the way it goes. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or Chainlink donation, which we are investors in all of them. Big time. Subaru Pembroke Pines, we're there once a month, broadcasting on Wednesdays, folks. And remember, you can use that QR code. You can get $500 off if you're buying or leasing a vehicle. Or if you go in person, you tell them, hey, Big O sent me here at 16100 Pines Boulevard, and I get $500 off, I'm told. So if you're looking for the Subaru Crosstrek, the 2025, it's a great entry-level, stylish, reliable vehicle. It makes actually getting behind the wheel fun and easy. See it up close today at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And the 2025 Legacy in Cosmic Blue looks absolutely awesome. We did a video of it last month. You can see it on social media. Sleek and stylish. The Subaru won't be getting any more of these models. So if you're looking for a Legacy in Cosmic Blue, this is your last chance to drive a Legacy home. Don't wait. Take the test drive today at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, 16100 Pines Boulevard. Go see Eric Stampone. Go see my guys out there. They will take care of you. Alan does an awesome job running the place. And just a really, really easygoing place and amazing cars that get great ratings, customer ratings overall, consumer reports, all of that. Subaru blows them all away. Check it out at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Okay. Let's see. True Fin Fan says, this is the exact truth. Us everyday listeners and contributors are here because we want the truth. We hate being lied to and misled. Once you see it, you can't turn it off. Yep. Big O, I'm sorry. I have to tell you this. Who signs these players like Waller, like Tyreek and Ramsey? Yeah. No, dude, I get you guys that aren't Greer fans. I get it. Now, for this year, there's a whole other thing going on. I've explained it already many times over, what I think the big picture is of this year and why there's also that financial reset that is needed, but convenient, if that's the word I can use. Hey, remember this month at Caneswear, it'll be Sergei Bobrovsky signing autographs on the 21st of this month, 11:30 to 1 p.m. Okay? And they got plenty of Panthers championship gear there, and you can use our QR code BIG010, and you will get 10% off. All right? So check it out there. All right. I saw a tweet yesterday from Ira Winderman, our boy, and he talked about how Nikola Jovic with Serbia, Pelle Larsson with Sweden, and Fontecchio with Italy have all advanced to the knockout round of Eurobasket. I think it's important that they all advanced in Eurobasket, because once they get back to Miami, they won't be advancing to shit. They'll be lucky if they even make the playoffs. They'll be lucky if they make the play-in. So, good for them. They're advancing. I haven't watched a second of it. I have been keeping up with the stats. And my man Pelle Larsson has played really well. Like, really well. Really like that. But good for them. I hope one of them wins a championship, so at least one of our Heat players won a championship somewhere that's not here. Because they certainly have no chance at winning one here. That's for damn sure, dude. So, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be honest that the Heat are going nowhere. It's a developmental year, folks. Just be prepared for that. That's all that matters. Developmental year. We got 6 more to get to 100. 6 of you can hit the like button and get us to triple digits. I know there are 6 of you that haven't hit the like button. Do it for Sean Stanley. Do it for the Canes win over Notre Dame. Do it for the upcoming Panthers season. Yeah, come on. We got some positive stuff going on. Let's go. 99. Woo! I've been waiting for you. Oh, 99. Come on, let's go. 100. Who is the triple digit? Who is it? Who's going to do it? Somebody's got to do it. I'm looking at it here. I need to see it change to 100. Let's go. There we go. Whoa, 105. Nice. I like that. That's strong because several of you wanted to be the 100 and 6 of you did that. And thank you very much. Very nice of you. Very nice of you to do that. That is very, very cool. We appreciate that immensely, getting us over the 100 mark. All year cooling. Same-day service and installs. Over 350,000 satisfied customers. Call them at 1-888-204-5554. And by the way, you can also go to the website, allyourcooling.com. You can get a free estimate there. They've been in business for 52 years, and they serve Homestead to Vero Beach. That's pretty damn good. And we've got a new Naples location. Tell them that Big O sent you. All year cooling. My AC is from 2010 when I was at 640 Sports. And Tommy Smith Sr., Tommy Smith Jr.'s dad, who is no longer with us, and Tommy Sr. was amazing. And I worked with Tommy for many years, and he's been a sponsor of ours over the years. And so All Your Cooling is back here on the platform, and Tommy Jr. has been running the show, and he does a phenomenal job. He's obviously been at it for decades. So check it out. All Your Cooling, and tell them that Big O sent you, man. Good people out there. Open 7 days a week. They are ready to help you and serve you every day of the year. So if you run into problems, save that number, 888-204-5554. 5554. Let's see. Lenny says, don't know if y'all noticed, for those who watched the Bills Hard Knocks, the guy Buffalo Joe had some pastelito ears. He can hear other teams' offensive huddles from the sidelines. And he was like, that's like the biggest character you had there, Buffalo Joe and Charlo, and just whatever. It wasn't really a fun Hard Knocks. I watched it because I watch it every year. But man, this was the most uneventful one I have ever seen. Great job by them. They didn't want him around, and they really showed them what not to do on Hard Knocks. That is just, wow. Blows you away, to be quite honest. All right, let me do a little music, okay? Let's get to a little music news and birthdays, entertainment, all kinds of stuff. All right, let's start off with birthdays today. Oh. Interesting. Okay. All right, here we go. What happened today? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Why do I have... okay, there we go. I guess I screwed up. No. Okay. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let's go with musicians born on this date on September 4th. Beyonce, born in 1981. Let's see who else. Dan Miller from O-Town, born in 1980. Mark Ronson, UK producer, Little Uptown Funk. Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Adele, Amy Winehouse. He's got some talent. Born in 1975. Karmit Bachar from the Pussycat Girls. Not that I'm a Pussycat Girls fan, but the lead singer is a smoke show. 1974 for Karmit. Who else celebrating birthdays today? Kim Thale, lead guitarist with Soundgarden, born in 1960. Martin Chambers, drummer with the Pretenders, born in 1951. Ronald Laprede from the Commodores, the bassist, born in 1946. Gary Duncan, guitarist from Quicksilver, born in 1946. And that is it for musicians. Let's go with other famous people born on this date. Remember, if I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away, unfortunately. And we start off with radio news commentator. And now you have the entire story or something like that. Paul Harvey, born in 1918. Actor Dick York, born in 1928. Musician Merrill Bubba Knight from Gladys Knight and the Pips, born in 42. He is 83, still with us. World Golf Hall of Famer Raymond Floyd, born in 42. He's 83. World Golf Hall of Famer Tom Watson, born in 49. He's 76. Actor Judith Ivey, born in 51. She's 74. Comedian actor Damon Wayans, born in 60. He's 65. Let's see. Who else? Actor Carlos Ponce, born in 72. He's 53. Musician Ian Grushka from Newfound Glory, local band, born in 77. He's 48. Damn. Somebody on Newfound Glory is already 48. Damn, I'm old. Whew. That was That's just weird. Whitney Cummings, the actress, comedian, born in 82. She's 43 and writer also. Let's see who else. Musician James Bay, born in 90. He's 35. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, I do. Awesome Kong turns 48. Eric LeGrand is 35. Jerry Jarrett was born on this date in 1942. Kingo Kimura is 72. Wesley Blake, he turns 38. And the New Days, Xavier Woods, is 39. And now you have the rest of the birthdays for September 4th, 2025.
That's it. And now you have the rest of the story. Right. That's it. That was classic, dude. Like you waited for Paul Harvey to just deliver, bro. And he always delivered. You know, that was classic. All right, let's go over music history. What happened today on September 4th in music history? Anything big, anything important? Well, in 65, the Beatles started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts. U.S. singles charts with Help, the title of their second film, and the group's 9th U.S. number 1. In 69, the classic 1960s counterculture movie Easy Rider opened, starring Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, and Jack Nicholson. Songs of the film, popular soundtrack, Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, Wasn't Born to Follow, and the Ballad of Easy Rider by the Byrds, and Don't Bogart That Joint by the Fraternity of Man. In 71, Paul and Linda McCartney went to number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with the U.S. only release of Uncle Albert. Admiral Halsey, McCartney's first U.S. solo number 1. Paul would later explain that Uncle Albert was based on his real-life uncle. He's someone I recall fondly, and when the song was coming, it was like a nostalgia thing. As for Admiral Halsey, he's one of yours, an American admiral, referring to Admiral William Bull Halsey. In 76, the Bee Gees went to number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with You Should Be Dancing, the group's third chart-topping single. Let's see. In 87, drummer Mike Joyce quit the Smiths. By the way, did you see what Morrissey posted from the Smiths? I'll read that. In 1990, Queensryche released her 4th studio album, Empire. It features Silent Lucidity. Great freaking song, dude. Great song. Let's see. What else do we have? 2001, System of a Down released her 2nd studio album, Toxicity. It features Chop Suey, Toxicity, and Aerials. In 2015, Travis Scott released his debut studio album, Rodeo. It features 3500 and Antidote. In 2015, Cuban-born Jamaica ska and reggae trombonist Rico Rodriguez died at the age of 80. He recorded with many artists, including Carl Peterson, Prince Buster, and Lloyd Matador Daly. He was known as one of the first and most distinguished ska artists, and from the early 60s performed and recorded in Britain with the Specials, Jules Holland, Paul Young, and others. I got to tell you something. I had no idea that I had a Cuban ska dude. No idea. Rico Rodriguez. You learn something every day. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's beautiful to learn some stuff. All right, what else do we have here? Let me see. Sometimes it has birthdays that I did not see in the other list. And in this case, no. That is what happened today in Music Historia. Thank you, thank you, thank you there. As for Morrissey, I don't know if you guys saw this happening in music history. By the way, Lady Gaga canceled one of her shows in Miami yesterday due to vocal issues, where she was concerned because she could do permanent damage. So She had to cancel and reschedule. So for those of you that are, you missed out, I hope you're able to come back, because that's kind of the rough part of it. You know what I'm saying? Giorgio Armani, I mentioned earlier, passed away at the age of 91. Morrissey, the lead singer of the Smiths. Morrissey has been badgered for many years about reunions, and then him and Johnny Marr can't stand each other and all that kind of stuff. And, in my eyes, Morrissey is a Hall of Famer with the Smiths and a Hall of Famer on his own, too. He has come up with his own catalog, his solo catalog, that is just absolutely amazing, outstanding. It really is. And he has gotten to a point where he's tired of dealing with all the Smith stuff and the business of the Smiths. So he posted this yesterday on his Facebook page. Morrissey has no choice but to offer for sale all of his business interests in the Smiths. To any interested party investor, this would include Morrissey's full and exclusive rights to the name The Smiths, created by Morrissey, all the Smiths artwork created by Morrissey, all Smith merchandising rights, all Smiths songs lyrically and musically, all synchronization rights, all Smiths recordings, all contractual rights for Smiths publishing. This is enormous, dude. Morrissey, I'm burnt out by any and all connections to Marr, Roke, and Joyce. I have had enough of malicious associations with my entire life. I have paid my rightful dues to these songs and these images. I would like now to live disassociated from those who wish me nothing but ill will and destruction. And this is the only resolution. The songs are me. They are no one else, but they bring with them business communications that go to excessive lengths to create as much dread and spite year after year. I must now protect myself, especially my health. Wow. So if somehow or another you were holding out hope for some kind of reunion, if this doesn't tell you what you need to know, and I've got tickets to his concert in January that was rescheduled. I hope he doesn't sell by January, because I do it more for my daughter and my wife. They're not as into his solo stuff as I am. I love his solo stuff. Absolutely love his solo stuff. I mean, Sean knows we were at the NBA Summer League in Vegas, and Morrissey was there, and I went to 3 straight concerts at Caesars and in the pit. That's how much of a fan I am. I love Morrissey. I think he's just absolutely phenomenal. Whatever you think of him personally or politically or all that, I compartmentalize all that stuff. Whatever. I just love the music. And you could tell how bad, how toxic this relationship is, that he just wants to rid himself. And when he does, mark my words on this, ladies and gentlemen, he will no longer play Smith songs, probably. Because he will then have to share revenue with other people. And he may not even want to do that. So he may spite that and then just play his stuff, which I will gladly go to any concert he's at and he just plays his solo stuff. I can walk out of there super happy. Okay? I mean, I've seen him a whole ton of times, and I've seen him play all kinds of Smith songs over the years. So I'm good. I'm kind of fortunate in that sense. But I can't say everybody feels like I do. You know what I mean? So I hope this sale takes a little bit, and it doesn't happen till after he finishes this tour, for my daughter and my wife's sake, because I am taking them to the concert. So there you go. But that's how bad that situation is. That's crazy, dude. That is crazy. By the way, visit our friends at BigCheeseMiami.com. Food is amazing. So if you see Gary there, tell him that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man. BigCheeseMiami.com. Appreciate them. Friday, Manny will join us, and the Big Cheese Miami.com NIL and recruiting report. All right. Our rookie's going to come out like gangbusters. I hope so. Let's see. Big O, hope for a good Dolphins season, but my logic and clear thoughts say this roster peaked in 2023. I think the heavens going in week 1 instead of week 13 road game. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, we're all hoping for the best. That's all it is. Do you want to think negative thoughts to start a season? Of course not. But I'm not also going to be childish and avoid the reality. I'm not going to do it. I get it, dude. Lots of radio hosts and writers, they don't want to be brutally honest, even if they feel it. They don't want to say it. They're afraid and all that. And I get it. Bro. I'm good with that. You know, I'm fine where I'm at. I can't complain. I like to live in the reality, and that's all. So let's hope for the best. Look, man, I bet on the Dolphins. I took the money line and I took the points. And you just heard the Colts beat writer. He's picking the Colts. They're looking at it over there like this is a winnable game, and we're looking at it here like you better win. And if you lose that game, like he doesn't go on a hot seat. He goes on a sizzling seat right away because there's already a bunch of people that want to get rid of Mike McDaniel. You lose that game. Like it's the whole, it's a little, not to that extreme, but it's a little like Notre Dame. Like if you were going to have an excellent season, you needed to win that game. If you lose a Notre Dame game, you just don't know yet what you're going to get for the rest of the 11 games because you don't know what. But you beat Notre Dame and you physically beat them. Now you feel good about going 11-0 from here on out, or 10-1, or 9-2, worst case scenario. But you feel really good. If you lose this game, you're going to feel like you're going to lose a lot of games. If you win this game, you just feel fortunate you won the game. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a great season because Indy is not that kind of a measuring stick. Notre Dame is much more of a measuring stick for Miami and their season. But the same implications happen. If you would have lost to the Notre Dame game, the next 11, you don't feel nearly as confident that you would have a great season. If you lose the Indy game, you're going to feel guaranteed that you're going to have a shitty season. That's crazy, dude. But that's the truth. That's the tooth. Okay? That's the tooth. Please don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button before you go. Nineberg says if the Dolphins lose to the Colts, McDaniel will be fired before Halloween. We'll find out. We shall find out. Thank you all out there. For those of you that hit the like button, those of you that made a donation, Cash App or Venmo throughout the week, anytime that you're watching or listening, thank you very much. We appreciate you as always. Please visit our amazing sponsors. Without them, we cannot do this and bring you the truth every single day, no matter who it is. So appreciate all of you out there. We shall, and we thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. David Furones, Manny Navarro will be joining us. We'll have a little fun. We'll preview the Dolphins and the Colts with him. Remember, on Sunday, Furones and Chris Perkins will join us from the locker rooms in the postgame show. So we'll have all the postgame news for you and notes and all kinds of stuff here on the program. See you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big